Admiral Thexvar stood on the bridge of his massive warship. His four arms moved quickly across the control panels. The Corvani Empire had ruled this part of space for 300 years. Their shields were the strongest in the galaxy. Nothing could pass through them. Nothing had ever tried. The Admiral's green skin turned pale as warning lights flashed red across his bridge. His crew of 20 aliens worked at their stations. They all looked worried. The shield readings showed something impossible. "Admiral," shouted his weapons officer. Something came through the outer shields. Thexvar's large eyes grew wide. "That cannot be true. Run the test again." The weapons officer checked his instruments twice. His hands shook as he read the results. "Sir, all 17 shield layers show normal function. But something is inside our defense zone." It appeared without warning. On the main screen, a strange ship floated in space. It was much smaller than any Corvani warship. The design was unlike anything in their databases. Smooth curves replaced the sharp edges that most species used. It had no visible weapons, no heavy armor plating. It looked almost peaceful. Captain Hyunwoo sat calmly in his command chair aboard the human ship called Silent Dawn. His crew of 12 humans worked quietly at their stations. They had just tested their new quantum phase drive. The test worked perfectly. "Report, Dayun," Hyunwoo said to his navigator. Lieutenant Dayun checked her readings. She was a young woman with short black hair. Her fingers moved quickly over her control panel. "All systems working normally, Captain. We passed through their shields without any problems. The quantum phase drive lets us exist between dimensions. Their shields cannot stop what they cannot touch." Hyunwoo nodded. He had expected this result. Human scientists had spent 10 years developing this technology. They studied how other species built their defenses. Then they found a way to make those defenses useless. On the Corvani bridge, more alarms started ringing. Admiral Thexvar saw 30 more warships moving toward the strange vessel. His fleet was the pride of the Empire. Each ship carried enough firepower to destroy a small moon. But he felt afraid for the first time in his military career. "Open communication channels," the Admiral ordered. "All frequencies." The communication officer was a female Corvani with blue markings on her face. She worked quickly to establish contact. "Channel open, Admiral." Thexvar stepped forward. His voice carried the authority of the Empire. "Unknown vessel, you have entered Corvani space without permission. You have somehow bypassed our defense systems. Identify yourself immediately or we will consider you hostile." On the Silent Dawn, communications officer So Young turned to her captain. She was a calm woman in her 30s. "Captain, we are receiving a transmission from the alien fleet. They want us to identify ourselves." Hyunwoo thought for a moment. Earth had sent them to make peaceful contact with alien species. But they also needed to protect themselves. The quantum phase drive was humanity's secret advantage. He would not reveal how it worked. "Open a channel, So Young," Hyunwoo said. "Let me speak to them." The captain stood up from his chair. He wore a simple blue uniform with no decorations. His calm voice carried across space to the alien fleet. "This is Captain Hyunwoo of the human vessel Silent Dawn. We come from Earth. We mean no harm to your people or your empire." Admiral Thexvar listened to the transmission. The aliens spoke their language perfectly. But how did they learn Corvani? And what was this species called human? His database showed no record of them. "Human vessel," the Admiral said, "you have violated our borders. Your ship passed through shields that have protected the Empire for centuries. This is an act of war. Surrender now or face the consequences." Jae Sung, the chief engineer of the Silent Dawn, looked up from his station. He was an older man with gray hair. "Captain, their weapons are powering up. 30 ships total. Each one is 10 times our size." Hyunwoo remained calm. He had served in Earth's space fleet for 15 years. He had seen many dangerous situations. "Any ship that can pass through their shields might have other surprises," he said quietly to his crew. "But we will not fight unless they force us to." The captain opened the communication channel again. "Admiral Thexvar, we detected your name from your ship's transmissions. We do not wish to fight. We are explorers, not conquerors. But we will defend ourselves if attacked." How did they know his name? Admiral Thexvar felt more confused. These humans seemed to have technology beyond anything he understood. Their small ship had done what no enemy had ever accomplished. Yet they spoke of peace. "Weapons officer," the Admiral said quietly. "Prepare to fire a warning shot. Target the space near their ship. Do not hit them directly. Let us see how they react. The weapons officer charged the main cannon. Ready, Admiral. Fire. A bright blue energy beam shot through space. It passed close to the Silent Dawn but did not hit the hull. It was meant as a warning, a show of force. On the human ship, Tactical Officer Minho watched the energy beam pass by. He was a young man who had trained on Earth's best warships. Captain, they fired a warning shot. Their weapons are powerful but not more advanced than ours. Hyunwoo made his decision. So Young, send this message to all ships in their fleet. Make sure every ship receives it. So Young prepared to transmit. Ready, Captain. Admiral Thexvar and ships of the Corvani Empire, Hyunwoo said clearly. We understand your concern. A ship that can pass through your shields might be a threat to your people. But we are not your enemies. We come in peace, but we will not be detained. We ask only for safe passage through your space. The message reached all 30 Corvani warships at the same time. Admiral Thexvar realized these humans had scanning technology that could identify each ship in his fleet. They knew exactly how many vessels surrounded them. This was either very advanced technology or very good intelligence gathering. Admiral, his weapons officer said, should we fire again? Thexvar stared at the human ship on his screen. It looked so small and harmless, but it had accomplished the impossible. No, he said slowly. Send a message to Imperial Command. Tell them we have encountered a new species. Tell them their shields mean nothing to these humans. The communication went out across space toward the Corvani homeworld. In a few hours, the entire Empire would know that their greatest defense had failed. For the first time in centuries, they were vulnerable. Captain Hyunwoo waited patiently for the aliens' response. His crew remained calm and ready. The quantum phase drive was just the beginning of what human technology could do. If the Corvani chose to fight, they would learn that humans were very good at solving problems. Even problems that involved 30 angry warships. Emperor Velthok received the message from Admiral Thexvar while eating his morning meal. The ruler of the Corvani Empire was old and wise. He had led his people for 50 years. Nothing had ever surprised him like this news. The emperor stood up from his golden table. His palace overlooked the capital city of the homeworld. Millions of Corvani lived in the towers below. They all trusted their emperor to keep them safe. The shields had always protected them from any danger. Call an emergency meeting, Velthok told his assistant. I want every military commander and scientist in the throne room within 1 hour. The assistant, a young Corvani male, ran quickly to send the messages. Soon the most important people in the Empire would gather to discuss this crisis. In space, the Silent Dawn continued to drift near the Corvani fleet. Captain Hyunwoo had decided to wait. He wanted to see what the aliens would do next. His crew used the time to study their new neighbors. Chief Engineer Jae-sung worked at his station in the engine room. The quantum phase drive was his greatest achievement. He had spent 5 years developing the technology on Earth. The idea came from studying how fish swim through water. Instead of pushing water aside, they moved between the water molecules. Captain, Jae-sung said over the communication system, I am reading their shield technology. It is very powerful but simple. They use brute force instead of smart design. Our phase drive works because we do not fight their shields. We simply exist where their shields are not. Hyunwoo smiled. This was typical human thinking. Other species built bigger walls. Humans found doors that others could not see. Keep monitoring their systems, Jae-sung, but do not interfere with their equipment. Communications Officer So Young had been listening to Corvani transmissions for 2 hours. She learned their language quickly. Humans had a gift for understanding alien communication. Captain, I am hearing many emergency messages. They are calling for help from their home world. They sound very worried. What are they saying about us? Hyunwoo asked. So Young listened to more transmissions. They think we might be invaders. Some of them want to attack us immediately. Others think we are too dangerous to fight. They have never seen technology like ours. Dr. Yoonji, the ship's scientist who studied alien life, looked up from her research station. She was a middle-aged woman who had written books about alien behavior. Captain, their reaction tells us much about their culture. They think in terms of strength and weakness. Our ship is small, so they assumed we were weak. When we passed through their shields, they realized they were wrong. Now they do not know what to think. On the Corvani homeworld, the emergency meeting began. 50 of the Empire's most important leaders sat around a huge table. Emperor Velthak stood at the head of the table. His face showed the worry he felt inside. Admiral Thexvar has sent us disturbing news, the Emperor said. A small alien ship has passed through our shields. This should be impossible. I want answers. General Kexthol was the Empire's military leader. He was a large Corvani with many battle scars. Your Majesty, our shields have stopped every attack for 3 centuries. They stopped the Zelthon invasion. They stopped the cosmic storms of the Outer Rim. How can one small ship do what entire fleets could not? Chief Scientist Morwek was the smartest Corvani in the Empire. She had designed many of their weapons and defenses. General, I have been studying the data from Admiral Thexvar. The shields never detected the alien ship. It appeared inside our defense zone without triggering any alarms. This suggests they have technology we do not understand. What kind of technology? The Emperor asked. Morwek looked at her datapad. I can only guess, Your Majesty. Perhaps they can make their ship invisible. Perhaps they can teleport through space. Perhaps they exist in a different dimension. All of these are theories. We need more information. Back on the Silent Dawn, Lieutenant Da-Un was studying the Corvani ships with her instruments. She was impressed by their size and power. But she also noticed their weaknesses. Captain, their ships are built like fortresses. Heavy armor, powerful shields, massive weapons. But they move slowly. Their design assumes they will always fight from a strong position. Tactical Officer Minho agreed with Da-Un's assessment. Captain, if we had to fight them, we could outrun their ships easily. Our smaller size makes us much faster, but they have many ships. In a long battle, their numbers would be a problem. Hyunwoo nodded. Let us hope it does not come to fighting. We came here to make friends, not enemies. On the bridge of Admiral Thexvar's flagship, the crew waited for orders from their homeworld. The Admiral stared at the human ship on his screen. It had not moved in hours. It seemed to be waiting for something. Admiral, his communications officer said, we are receiving new orders from the Emperor. Thexvar read the message quickly. The orders were clear but difficult. He was to keep the alien ship under watch but not attack unless attacked first. The Empire wanted to learn more about these humans before making any military decisions. Send a message to the alien ship, the Admiral ordered. Tell them they are surrounded and cannot leave. Tell them they must answer our questions. So Young received the Corvani message and translated it for Captain Hyunwoo. Captain, they want us to stay here and answer questions. They think they can force us to cooperate. Hyunwoo considered his options. Earth had given him permission to make contact with alien species, but his first duty was to protect his ship and crew. Send a reply, So Young. Tell them we will answer some questions as a gesture of friendship, but we will not be prisoners. The message reached Admiral Thexvar a few minutes later. He felt frustrated. These humans seemed polite but firm. They would cooperate on their own terms, not on the Empire's terms. This was not how first contact usually worked. Most species either surrendered immediately or fought desperately. These humans did neither. In the Imperial Palace, Emperor Velthak received regular updates from the fleet. Each report raised more questions. The human ship had not tried to escape. It had not attacked. It simply waited and watched. This behavior confused the Empire's experts. Your Majesty, said Chief Scientist Morwek, I believe these humans are studying us just as we are studying them. They are gathering information about our technology and our culture. This suggests they are intelligent and careful. Are they a threat? The Emperor asked. Any species that can bypass our shields is potentially dangerous, Morwek replied. But their behavior suggests they prefer diplomacy to violence. I recommend we try to communicate with them properly. Perhaps we can learn from each other. General Kexthol disagreed strongly. Your Majesty, showing weakness to these aliens would be a mistake. If other species learn that our shields failed, they might attack us. We should capture this human ship and study their technology by force. The Emperor listened to both opinions. He had ruled the Empire for 50 years by making careful decisions. This decision might be the most important of his reign. The Corvani people trusted him to protect them, but starting a war with an unknown species could be even more dangerous than talking to them. I will make my decision tomorrow, Velthak said. Tonight I want to think carefully about our options. On the Silent Dawn, Captain Hyunwoo gathered his senior officers for a meeting. They sat around a small table in the ship's conference room. The mood was serious but calm. We are at a critical point, Hyunwoo said. These aliens are deciding whether to treat us as friends or enemies. Our actions in the next few hours could determine the future relationship between humanity and the Corvani Empire. Jae-sung spoke first. Captain, our ship can escape at any time. The quantum phase drive will take us past their fleet before they can react. But running away might make them think we are cowards or criminals, Dr. Yoonji said. If we want peaceful relations, we need to show we are trustworthy. Minho had a different concern. Captain, what if they try to capture us? Our ship has defensive systems, but we are outnumbered 30-1. Hyunwoo looked at each of his officers. They were good people who trusted his judgment. He had to make the right choice for them and for humanity. We will stay and talk with them, but we will be ready to leave quickly if necessary. Jae-sung, keep the phase drive ready for emergency activation. Yes, Captain, Jae-sung replied. As night fell on the Corvani homeworld, Emperor Velthak stood on his balcony. He looked up at the stars and thought about the future. Somewhere out there, a small human ship waited for his decision. That ship represented everything unknown about the galaxy. It could be the beginning of a new age of cooperation, or it could be the first sign of a terrible new threat. The Emperor had until tomorrow to decide which it would be. Emperor Velthak made his decision at dawn. He had spent all night thinking about the human ship. His choice would affect billions of Corvani lives. After 50 years of ruling, he trusted his instincts. These humans seemed dangerous but not evil. Send orders to Admiral Thexvar, the Emperor told his assistant. He is to test the human ship's capabilities. Use gravity wells and tractor beams to hold them in place. Do not fire weapons unless they attack first. I want to see what these humans can really do. The orders reached the fleet within an hour. Admiral Thexvar felt relieved. He had wanted to take action since the humans first appeared. Now he had permission to show them the Empire's true power. Attention all ships, the Admiral broadcast to his fleet. Activate gravity well generators. Set them to maximum power. Create a trap that nothing can escape. Then engage tractor beams on the alien vessel. We will hold them in place while we study their technology. 30 massive Corvani warships began working together. Their gravity well generators created artificial black holes around the silent dawn. Space itself bent and twisted. Any normal ship would be pulled apart by the incredible forces. At the same time, powerful tractor beams locked onto the human ship. The combined pull of 30 ships created a force that could hold a moon in place. The Corvani were proud of their technology. They had used these same tactics to defeat entire enemy fleets. On the silent dawn, alarms started ringing immediately. The ship shook as invisible forces grabbed it from all directions. Captain Hyunwoo held onto his command chair as the deck tilted under his feet. Report, he called to his crew. Lieutenant Daiyun checked her navigation systems. Captain, they have created artificial gravity wells around us. The space-time distortion is enormous. They are also using tractor beams to hold us in place. Chief Engineer Jae-sung looked at his instruments with interest rather than fear. Captain, this is fascinating technology. They are using controlled gravity to create a prison in space itself. Very impressive. But they made one mistake. What mistake? Hyunwoo asked. They assume we follow the same laws of physics they do, Jae-sung said with a smile. But our adaptive countermeasures were designed to handle exactly this situation. Hyunwoo had complete trust in his engineer. Show them what human problem-solving can do, Jae-sung. In the engine room, Jae-sung activated the ship's adaptive countermeasure system. This was another human invention that other species had never imagined. Instead of building stronger defenses, humans had built systems that could learn and adapt to any attack. The countermeasure system studied the Corvani technology for 30 seconds. It analyzed the gravity well generators and tractor beam frequencies. Then it began to make changes to the Silent Dawn's own systems. Countermeasures active, Jae-sung reported. Beginning adaptive response. The first change surprised the Corvani fleet. The gravity wells around the Silent Dawn suddenly began working in reverse. Instead of pulling the human ship towards certain destruction, they started pushing it away from the Corvani vessels. Admiral Thexvar watched in amazement as his own weapons turned against him. How is this possible? He demanded. His science officer was equally confused. Admiral, our gravity well generators are still working perfectly, but somehow the alien ship is reversing their effects. It should be impossible. The second change happened to the tractor beams. 30 powerful beams were pulling the Silent Dawn in different directions. The adaptive countermeasures studied each beam carefully. Then they began sending feedback signals back along the beams. On each Corvani warship, the tractor beam system started overheating. Warning lights flashed on 30 bridges as the human ship sent energy back through their own beams. The weapons operators had never seen anything like it. Shut down the tractor beams, Admiral Thexvar ordered. They are using our own power against us. But it was too late. The adaptive countermeasures had learned everything they needed to know. Tactical Officer Minho watched his displays with amazement. Captain, we now have complete control over their gravity and tractor beam technology. The countermeasure system has turned their weapons into our tools. Dr. Yunji studied the alien reactions from her science station. Captain, look at their formation. They are breaking apart in confusion. Their hierarchical command structure cannot adapt quickly to unexpected situations. They follow orders from above, but no one above them knows how to handle this. Captain Hyun-woo made his next decision carefully. He could destroy the entire Corvani fleet now. Their own weapons would turn against them. But destruction was not the human way. Minho, use their tractor beams to gently push their ships away from us. Make sure no one gets hurt. Yes, Captain. The Corvani fleet watched in shock as their own tractor beams activated without orders. Instead of pulling the human ship toward them, the beams pushed the warships away from each other. 30 massive vessels drifted apart like leaves in the wind. Admiral Thexvar felt helpless for the first time in his career. His weapons would not work. His ships were being moved around by an enemy that seemed to have complete control over Corvani technology. Yet the humans had not hurt anyone. They could have destroyed his entire fleet. But they chose not to. Admiral, his communications officer said quietly, we are receiving a transmission from the alien ship. Put it on the main screen, Thexvar ordered. Captain Hyun-woo appeared on the screen. He looked calm and friendly. His voice showed no anger or threat. Admiral Thexvar, we have demonstrated that your weapons cannot hold us, but we have no wish to fight with you. We could have destroyed your ships, but we chose not to. This should show you our peaceful intentions. The Admiral did not know what to say. He had attacked the human ship with his best technology. They had turned his attack into a gentle lesson about their superior capabilities. No enemy had ever been so polite while defeating him. How did you do this? The Admiral finally asked. We solve problems differently than you do, Hyun-woo replied. You build stronger weapons. We build systems that make weapons irrelevant. Your gravity wells and tractor beams are impressive, but we created technology that can adapt to any attack and turn it to our advantage. On the Corvani homeworld, Emperor Velthak received reports of the battle that was not really a battle. His military advisors were speechless. The humans had defeated 30 warships without firing a single weapon. They had done it by making the Corvani weapons work against themselves. Your Majesty, Chief Scientist Morwek said in amazement, these humans think in ways we have never imagined. Our approach to warfare is based on superior firepower. Their approach is based on superior adaptability. They do not fight our weapons. They convince our weapons to fight for them instead. General Kexithal felt humiliated. His mighty fleet had been defeated by a single small ship. Your Majesty, we must learn their secrets. If other enemies develop this technology, the Empire will be defenseless. Emperor Velthak understood the situation clearly. The humans had shown they could defeat any Corvani military force, but they had also shown they preferred peace to war. This was an opportunity, not just a threat. Send a new message to Admiral Thexvar, the Emperor ordered. Tell him to withdraw the fleet to a safe distance. I want to speak directly with these humans. If they are as peaceful as they claim, perhaps we can find common ground. Back in space, Admiral Thexvar received his new orders with relief. He had lost the confrontation, but he was still alive. His crew was safe. His ships were undamaged. For a military defeat, it could have been much worse. All ships withdraw to minimum safe distance, the Admiral broadcast to his fleet. Do not take any hostile actions toward the alien vessel. We are returning to defensive positions only. The Corvani warship slowly moved away from the Silent Dawn. Their weapons powered down. The gravity wells disappeared. Space returned to normal around the human ship. Captain Hyun-woo watched the alien fleet retreat. He felt satisfied with the outcome. No one had been killed. The Corvani had learned that fighting humans was not a good idea. Most importantly, the door was now open for peaceful negotiations. So Young, he said to his communications officer, send a message to Earth Command. Tell them we have made contact with the Corvani Empire. Tell them the first confrontation went well. We are ready to begin diplomatic talks. Communications Officer. So Young smiled as she prepared the message. Captain, should I mention that we defeated 30 alien warships without breaking anything? Just say that we demonstrated human technology, Hyunwoo replied. Let Earth Command read between the lines. Chief Engineer Jae Sung was already working on his report about the adaptive countermeasures. The system had performed perfectly. It had learned to control alien technology in real time, but more importantly, it had done so without causing any harm. This was the true achievement of human engineering. They built tools for peace, not just for war. Dr. Eunji was excited about her observations of Corvani behavior. Captain, their retreat shows they can learn from experience. They recognized superior technology when they saw it. They also respected our restraint in not destroying them. These are positive signs for future cooperation. Lieutenant Daun was already plotting courses to other parts of Corvani space. Captain, if the Empire agrees to peaceful contact, we could visit their homeworld. We could see their... 3 days after the confrontation, Emperor Velthak sent an official message to the Silent Dawn. Captain Hyunwoo read it carefully with his senior officers gathered around him. The message was formal but respectful. Captain Hyunwoo of Earth, the message began. The Corvani Empire requests formal diplomatic contact. We propose a meeting at the neutral space station Kepler-7. This station belongs to no empire and follows ancient laws of hospitality. Both sides can meet safely there. We hope to understand each other better. Hyunwoo looked at his crew. What do you think? Is this a genuine offer for peace talks? Dr. Eunji had been studying Corvani culture through their communications. Captain, Kepler-7 is indeed neutral territory. Many species use it for diplomatic meetings. The fact that they suggested it shows they want legitimate negotiations, not a trap. Lieutenant Daeun checked her star charts. Captain, the station is 2 days away at normal speed. It is far from any Corvani military bases. If we need to escape quickly, we can reach open space easily. Communications Officer So Young had intercepted many Corvani transmissions. Captain, I have been listening to their internal communications. The Empire is genuinely confused about how to handle us. Some want war, but many want peace. The Emperor seems to favor diplomacy. Hyunwoo made his decision. Send a reply to Emperor Velthak. Tell him we accept his invitation. We will meet at Kepler-7 in 5 days. That gives both sides time to prepare properly. Before leaving for the station, Hyunwoo needed to select his diplomatic team. Earth had trained him in first contact procedures, but this situation was beyond anything in the manual. He chose carefully. Ambassador Taemin would lead the human delegation. He was a career diplomat who had handled difficult negotiations on Earth. His calm manner and sharp mind made him perfect for alien contact. He arrived on the Silent Dawn with his aide Ye-jin, a young woman who specialized in alien languages. Chief Scientist Dong-hyun also joined the team. He was one of Earth's leading experts on alien technology. His job would be to share human knowledge in ways that helped build trust without revealing military secrets. The journey to Kepler-7 gave both sides time to think. Emperor Velthak chose his own delegation carefully. He picked moderate leaders who wanted peace but could also protect Corvani interests. Kepler-7 was an ancient space station built by a long-dead species. It had served as neutral ground for over 1,000 years. The station's AI systems maintained perfect neutrality. No weapons were allowed inside. No recording devices could function in the meeting rooms. Captain Hyunwoo arrived first with his diplomatic team. The station's docking bay was large enough for ships from dozens of different species. The Silent Dawn looked small next to some of the massive vessels that regularly visited the station. Ambassador Taemin was impressed by the station's design. Captain, this place has seen negotiations between hundreds of species. Some of the most important peace treaties in galactic history were signed here. 2 hours later, the Corvani delegation arrived in a single large ship. Emperor Velthak had come personally, showing the importance he placed on these talks. He brought Chief Scientist Morweck and 3 diplomatic advisors. The meeting took place in the station's main conference room. The room was designed to accommodate different alien species. The furniture could adjust to any size or shape. The air could be filtered for different atmospheric requirements. Ambassador Taemin sat across from Emperor Velthak. Both leaders studied each other carefully. The Emperor was larger than any human, with 4 arms and green skin marked by age. but his eyes showed intelligence and caution, not hostility. "Your Majesty," Taman said formally, "humanity is honored to meet with the Corvani Empire. We come seeking friendship between our peoples." Emperor Velthak replied with equal formality. "Ambassador Taman, the Corvani Empire welcomes contact with humanity. Your ship's capabilities have impressed us greatly. We hope to understand your people better." The real negotiations began when Chief Scientist Dong Hyun started explaining human technology. He knew he had to be careful. Sharing too much could be dangerous. Sharing too little could seem unfriendly. "Your Majesty," Dong Hyun said, "humans approach technology differently than most species. We do not try to build the biggest or strongest devices. Instead, we try to build the smartest devices. Our quantum phase drive works by existing between dimensions. Your shields cannot stop us because we never actually touch them." Chief Scientist Morwek was fascinated. "Dr. Dong Hyun, this is remarkable. We have always believed that stronger defenses required more powerful attacks to defeat them. You have found a way to make the concept of defense irrelevant." "Exactly," Dong Hyun replied. "Humans survived on a dangerous planet by learning to adapt quickly. When we encountered a problem we could not overpower, we found ways to go around it. This shaped how we think about everything, including technology." Ye Jin, the language specialist, had been studying Corvani culture through their speech patterns. She made an important observation. "Your Majesty, may I ask about your empire's history? How did the Corvani become so powerful?" Emperor Velthak seemed pleased by her interest. "Young human, our empire grew through military conquest. We built the strongest weapons and the best defenses. Species that opposed us were defeated. Species that joined us were protected. For 3 centuries, this system worked perfectly. Until now," Ambassador Taman said gently. "Yes, until now," the Emperor admitted. "Your ship showed us that our greatest strength could become irrelevant overnight. This is disturbing for us, but also educational." Dr. Yunji, who had remained quiet during the formal talks, finally spoke up. "Your Majesty, humans faced a similar crisis on our homeworld. We had many wars between different human groups. Each side tried to build better weapons than their enemies. Eventually, our weapons became so powerful they could destroy our entire planet." "What did you do?" Morwek asked. "We realized that winning through destruction meant everyone would lose," Yunji replied. "So we started competing in different ways. Instead of building better weapons, we tried to build better solutions to problems. We turned our war technology into tools for exploration and construction." Chief Scientist Dong Hyun supported this explanation with practical examples. "Your Majesty, our quantum phase drive was originally designed to help miners work inside asteroids. We needed a way to put tools where solid matter already existed. The military applications came later. Our adaptive countermeasures started as safety systems for dangerous industrial work," he continued. "When workers encountered unexpected hazards, their tools needed to adapt quickly to keep them safe. We applied the same principle to defensive systems." Emperor Velthak listened carefully to every word. His advisors took notes on everything they heard. This was more than just a diplomatic meeting. It was a lesson in a completely different way of thinking. "Ambassador Taman," the Emperor said slowly, "you are describing a fundamental change in how we view power and security. For centuries, we believed that strength came from superior force. You suggest that real strength comes from superior adaptability." "That is correct, Your Majesty," Taman replied. "Humans learned that problems always change faster than solutions. The species that survives is not the strongest or the smartest. It is the one that adapts best to change." The breakthrough moment came when Chief Scientist Morwek asked a crucial question. "Dr. Dong Hyun, could human technology help the Corvani Empire solve problems that have nothing to do with warfare?" Dong Hyun smiled. "That is exactly what human technology does best. What problems does your empire face?" Morwek looked at Emperor Velthak, who nodded permission to speak freely. "We have energy shortages on our outer colonies. Communication delays across our vast territory cause administrative problems. Our industrial processes waste enormous amounts of resources. These are not military issues, but they affect billions of our people." "Dr. Dong Hyun said excitedly. "These are exactly the kinds of problems humans love to solve. Our quantum phase technology could revolutionize your communication systems. Our adaptive systems could optimize your industrial processes. Our dimensional manipulation techniques could solve your energy problems." For the first time since the meeting began, Emperor Velthak smiled. You would share such valuable knowledge with us? Your Majesty, Ambassador Taemin replied. Humans believe that knowledge grows when it is shared. We would teach your people our techniques. In return, we hope to learn from your experiences and discoveries. Both of our species would benefit. The Emperor leaned back in his chair. His advisors whispered among themselves in rapid Corvani. After several minutes of discussion, Velthak made his decision. Ambassador Taemin, the Corvani Empire accepts your offer of technological cooperation. We propose a formal alliance between our species. We will share knowledge, protect each other's interests, and work together to solve common problems. Taemin felt relief and excitement. Your Majesty, humanity accepts your proposal. This is the beginning of a new era for both our peoples. As the formal agreements were signed, Dr. Yunji reflected on what had just happened. A potential war between species had become the foundation for lasting peace. The key had been showing the aliens that humans were not conquerors but problem solvers. The meeting ended with plans for extensive. 1 year after the first meeting at Kepler 7, the galaxy had changed dramatically. The alliance between humanity and the Corvani Empire had created ripples across known space. Other species watched with interest as two very different civilizations worked together successfully. Captain Hyun-woo stood on the bridge of the Silent Dawn, but this time, they were not alone in space. The ship now served as the permanent human embassy to the Corvani Empire. It orbited the capital world, where millions of aliens could see it every day. The sight of the small human vessel had become a symbol of the new partnership. The captain had accepted a new role as humanity's first ambassador to an alien empire. It was not the career he had planned, but he found the work rewarding. Every day brought new challenges and discoveries. Ambassador Hyun-woo, Communications Officer So-young said, using his new title, "We are receiving a transmission from the surface. Emperor Velthak requests a meeting with you and Engineer Soo-jin." Engineer Soo-jin had arrived 3 months ago as part of the technology exchange program. She was a brilliant young woman who specialized in industrial efficiency. Her work with Corvani factories had already saved the Empire millions of credits in wasted resources. "Tell His Majesty we will be there within the hour," Hyun-woo replied. The Imperial Palace had changed since the Human Alliance began. New construction used human-designed materials that were stronger and lighter than traditional Corvani building methods. The throne room now had a special section for human diplomats, with furniture sized for their smaller bodies. Emperor Velthak greeted them warmly. The aging ruler had become genuinely fond of his human allies. "Ambassador Hyun-woo, Engineer Soo-jin, I have remarkable news to share. The efficiency improvements you designed for our mining operations have exceeded all expectations. Production is up 40% while energy costs have dropped by half." Soo-jin smiled modestly. "Your Majesty, the credit belongs to your workers. They learned our techniques quickly and found ways to improve them further. Human technology works best when it is adapted by local experts. This was typical of human engineering philosophy. They did not just give aliens new machines. They taught aliens new ways of thinking about problems. The results were often better than anything humans could achieve alone." "There is more good news," the Emperor continued. 3 neighboring species have contacted us about joining our alliance. They have seen our prosperity and want to learn human problem-solving methods. The Zathari Confederation, the Mulkan Republic, and the independent worlds of Vega have all sent diplomatic requests. Hyun-woo felt excited but also concerned. "Your Majesty, this is wonderful news, but we must be careful not to expand too quickly. Each new species will have different needs and different ways of thinking." "I agree completely," Velthak said. "That is why I want human advisors present at all future negotiations. Your people understand how to build cooperation between different cultures." As they spoke, Lieutenant Hae-young worked at her communication station aboard the Silent Dawn. She had detected something interesting in the long-range sensors. "Captain." "Sorry, Ambassador, you should see this. I am receiving a transmission from Earth. It appears to be a convoy of ships." The transmission was from Admiral Park, commander of Earth's first contact fleet. "Ambassador Hyun-woo, congratulations on your successful mission. Earth Command has decided to expand our presence in this sector. I am bringing 12 ships with diplomatic, scientific, and engineering teams. We are prepared for long-term cooperation with multiple alien species. Hyunwoo felt pride and responsibility. His successful first contact had convinced Earth to invest heavily in alien relations. But it also meant much more pressure to succeed. 12 ships represented a major commitment of Earth's resources. The arrival of the human fleet caused excitement throughout Corvani space. Emperor Velthak declared a celebration day. For the first time in their history, the Corvani Empire welcomed foreign military vessels not as conquerors but as friends. Admiral Park's flagship was 10 times larger than the Silent Dawn. It carried 500 diplomats, scientists, engineers, and support staff. Each person was an expert in some aspect of interspecies cooperation. Earth was taking alien contact very seriously. The Admiral met with Hyunwoo privately before the official ceremonies began. "Ambassador, your reports have impressed everyone on Earth. You turned a potential war into humanity's first alien alliance. The techniques you developed here will be used for all future first contacts." "Thank you, Admiral," Hyunwoo replied. "But the real credit belongs to my crew and our Corvani partners. They were willing to try new approaches to old problems." Over the following weeks, human specialists spread throughout Corvani space. Engineer Soo-jin led teams that revolutionized manufacturing processes on dozens of worlds. Communication experts like So-young established instant messaging networks across the vast empire. Dr. Yoonji worked with Corvani biologists to understand the life forms they would encounter on new planets, but the most important work was done by people like Chief Scientist Dong-hyun. He taught at the Imperial Science Academy, showing young Corvani how to think like human engineers. Instead of asking, "How can we build this bigger?" he taught them to ask, "How can we build this better?" The results were remarkable. Corvani students began developing new technologies that combined alien strength with human adaptability. Some of their innovations were so clever that Earth scientists requested copies for their own use. The success of the Human Corvani Alliance attracted attention from across the galaxy. Species that had been enemies for centuries began requesting mediation services. They wanted to learn how humans had convinced the mighty Corvani Empire to change their entire approach to power and diplomacy. Ambassador Tae-min, who had stayed to head the new diplomatic corps, found himself busier than ever. "Ambassador Hyunwoo," he said during one of their regular meetings, "we have received formal requests from 17 different species. They all want to join our alliance or at least establish trade relationships. Are we ready for this level of expansion?" Hyunwoo asked. "Earth Command thinks so," Taemin replied. "They are sending another 20 ships with specialized first contact teams. We are becoming the galaxy's experts at peaceful integration." Dr. Yoonji had been studying the broader implications of their success. "Ambassadors, I think we are witnessing something historically significant. For the first time, a major galactic power has chosen cooperation over conquest. Other species are seeing that there is an alternative to endless warfare." This observation proved correct when the Zathari Confederation officially joined the alliance. The Zathari were a peaceful species that had been bullied by larger empires for centuries. They brought advanced medical technology and a deep understanding of interspecies psychology. The Mulkan Republic followed 2 months later. They were traders and explorers who had mapped much of the unknown galaxy. Their knowledge of navigation and their vast commercial networks added new dimensions to the alliance. The independent worlds of Vega were more cautious. They had maintained their freedom by staying neutral in all conflicts, but the success of the alliance convinced them that cooperation was safer than isolation. They contributed advanced defensive technologies and valuable industrial resources. By the end of the first year, the human-led alliance included 5 different species controlling over 300 star systems. More importantly, their influence had changed how other species thought about diplomacy and conflict resolution. Emperor Velthak gave a speech to celebrate the anniversary of first contact. "1 year ago, a small human ship appeared in our space. We thought it was a threat to our empire. Instead, it became the foundation of our greatest achievements. The humans taught us that real power comes not from the ability to destroy enemies, but from the wisdom to make friends of former enemies." Captain Hyunwoo, now permanently assigned as humanity's chief alien ambassador, reflected on how much had changed. The Silent Dawn still used its quantum phase drive and adaptive countermeasures, but now these technologies served peaceful purposes. The phase drive allowed instant communication across the alliance. The adaptive systems helped integrate different alien technologies safely. Lieutenant Hae Young, who had been promoted to Commander of Communications, received a special transmission from Earth that day. Ambassador, this message is for you personally. It is from Earth's president. The message was brief but meaningful. Ambassador Hyunwoo, your work has exceeded all expectations. You have not just made contact with alien species. You have shown them a better way to coexist. The techniques you developed are being used for first contact missions throughout human space. You have changed how humanity approaches the galaxy, and how the galaxy approaches humanity. As the celebration continued on the surface of the Corvani homeworld, Hyunwoo stood on the bridge of the Silent Dawn and looked out at the stars. Each point of light might contain intelligent life. Each species might have problems that could be solved through cooperation instead of conflict. His ship had started as a small explorer vessel testing new technology. Now it was the center of a growing alliance that proved different species could work together successfully. The quantum phase drive had pierced through every shield, but more importantly, human values had